The cable and the phone industry for the last few years have been talking about the last mile, but there's something much more important. It's about the last yard between the machine and the human. In that last yard, all the value can be dropped. Between the cup and the lip. Point and click. In 1980, I walked into Xerox PARC for the first time and saw something marvelous, the graphical user interface. I pointed and clicked, drew in the first paint program. About 20, actually, can you not steal my thunder? Everybody's looking at that, so if we could kill this video. About 20 seconds, it was clear that this would have some impact, the point and click interface. What's it about? What's point and click mean? Simplicity. Anybody can do it. But the problem is that point and click, point and click, point and click, all day long, what do you got? Windows 95. It's like calling the file cabinet a pull and grab device. Pull and grab, point and click, the mechanics. We're being dragged into the machine, yet machines are getting less and less expensive, and computation should be being used to make them fit to us. What's the most precious resource we have? Time, or more precisely, attention. How can we attend to the important and not get sucked into the mechanical? Research is an extreme sport. Mid-80s, it was already clear to us at PARC, and particularly to Stu Card, a research fellow at Xerox, that the GUI was not going to scale. Later, people started calling it the WIMP interface, windows, icons, menus, pointers. The graphical user interface, you all recognize it. It's hardly graphical. Look at it. It's all text. You read text to decide where to go. No, you want to get there and then read the ones you want. It's not the graphical user interface. It's a scrolling, plus minus thingy, open, read, close, close, oops, open that one again, interface. Everybody sees the problem, right? Stu, a cognitive psychologist, saw the solution lay in utilizing an awesome human ability, of course, our perceptual systems. Computing has been around for 50 years, consciousness a lot longer, our eyes even longer. Since somebody brought up the dogs, there's a thing about dogs. The reason nobody knows you're a dog on the internet is we are all dogs. We all have eyes like dogs. These eyes were designed by evolution in the jungles and in the savannas. We're great at seeing blinking eyes, a flash of teeth, red dripping, motion in the periphery, sharp things. The ones that weren't good at this, they're gone. We're lunch. Our PARC team bought SGI hardware 10 years ago or more because we saw in them the ingredients, the technological gunk, the power goo to build the next generation of UI. It was a time machine strategy. We got into the future knowing Moore's law would take care of making it everybody's present. What do we discover? What do we invent? See and go. Early 90s, we have a collection of new user interface components at scale. I call them wide widgets. Point and click still simple, but the point and click are now bracketed by see and go. Forget the windows. Let's use the doors of perception. See thousands of objects graphically. And when you see something of interest, importance, significance, relevance, when it's worth your attention, go. Let me show you. I'll show you 4 of our wide widgets really quickly, each based on generic spines that organize all information, hierarchies, tables, time, documents, categories. The design principles we discovered in one, we applied in the others. And so you should hopefully see a genre here. The one you're seeing right now is called the hyperbolic tree. It's showing you a very large hierarchy. In fact, the World Wide Web site of Xerox about 2 years ago, when nobody understood, especially Xerox, how to organize its content on the web. And so you're seeing the home page or the root page and so down down into here. So instead of seeing a page view, you see an overview. And then when you want to go, you go where you want to go. These are what I call focus plus context, what we call focus plus context display in the research community now. Focus means you can see a lot about a little. In the center here, more space. Context means you still see a little bit about a lot. So you know when you want to go somewhere else. Of course, even the New Yorkers don't want to live in a New Yorker's view of the universe. When they want to move to San Francisco, maybe they want to check out over here. And when they're done, they want to get the hell out. Notice that this is graphical, this is animated. You only look at the text when you're really, and you skim, just like good readers do, good journalists do. You know, how many other people's newspapers do you guys go through? Once you have a view of the whole thing, you can start doing interesting things like searching in context. So search for, you know, some division's name in Xerox, and you say, oh, it's all over here. And you can go into the section of the site you want to, but you can also see there's some isolated hits over here. Maybe you're interested in isolated hits. A week later, you come back to the site. You may have forgotten that symbol, the name, but you'll remember where those red things were. They were down there, weren't they? Let me show you the next wide widget for large tables. This, if you saw this in Excel, you'd see this. What do you see? See all those numbers? You don't see anything. And you'd be scrolling forever. 10, 12 pages. I'm showing you the whole thing. This is 350 baseball players, all of them that existed in the professional leagues in 87, 25 career statistics about them, annual and career statistics. You're seeing patterns here. You're seeing things that stick out. And you say, I'm interested. Who's this guy that has all these career home runs? It's Mike Schmidt. Well, either you know something about baseball and you're going, of course, or you don't and you just learned something about baseball. One of the things about these kind of wide widgets is if you don't know much, you just travel and you learn. If you know a lot, you travel a lot faster. You'll sort the thing out. Let me talk about sorting here. Once you have a view of the whole, let's say I sort at bits. You guys see it? Correlations. But how's this guy got so many home runs and who is he anyway? Jesse Barfield. In when I was interested, out, nobody got hurt. All of these seem correlated right to here. Well, how about if I sort here? All these are correlated. These variables are moving in a pack. There's not as much information in this data set as I thought. Categorical information right in here. Sort by teams. Ooh, these guys got orderly, these other categories, but there's some noisy areas. Chicago, New York. Yeah, there are two teams, sort divisions, sort leagues. Now we've gotten rid of this thing the codes didn't know, but the people did. Positions. Of course, let's see whether everybody's got everybody. Yeah, you need 9 players to cover a field. You don't want 9 first basemen. Look at these jewels. If you sort by positions, are any of the variables organized? Yeah, look in here. Putouts, of course, first basemen get all the putouts. And these other groups in the assist columns, they've got to be the infielders. In maybe something like 45 seconds, I've streamed through that data set, teaching you and saying lots of things about baseball because it was graphical. To close out, let me just show you 2 more wide widgets buried in a very conventional UI, this Windows Explorer kind of interface. Here's the old widgets, the tree view, textual, plus minus thingy, open, open, scroll, scroll. Here's the new view. Animation still, focus and context still. You see patterns. You see that these things happen together. If it's your own files, what you're seeing along the axis, let me explain this a little bit, is time. Along axis, we think in both directions. Up and down right now is file size. So I could go and find these old big files and delete those suckers. Or buy a big disk. How long would it have taken in this plus minus thingy world? Another visualization is the cone tree. Notice we're using 3Ds, but I don't have to say it's 3D. I don't have to say OpenGL. I don't have to say Vermal, even though I just said all those things. That's the gunk. What's here are widgets that have been designed. Their motion is organized by the information structure. It's about the stuff, not the machines. It's about the nail, not the hammer. So I probably am coming in on a home stretch here, so let me just bring it in. Why do interfaces suck so badly? To turn a phrase away from Xerox this time, why are we fumbling the future in the last yard? Let me conclude with a story about technology, but perhaps about much more. My dad, a year ago, got a Windows PC. He was putting it together, getting on AOL, spending hours and hours, never got it set up quite right. Giving short shrift to his own experience, he said, "I guess it was me." And this is a man who for over 35 years has been writing Fortran programs that simulate airflows over wings. There's something wrong with this picture. Many people don't know that it doesn't have to be this way. It rests on our shoulders to attack the hard problems, to grapple with the complexities therein, so that we can deliver simplicity and power to them. Thank you. I've really enjoyed the last 2 days.